Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests here. I am the Sergeant-at-Arms for today's meeting. Toastmasters International is a century-old organization started by Ralph S. Medley. The vision of the club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. We have a few ground rules in our meeting. Whenever we are having a speech or the speakers are on the forum, you are refrained to speak about politics, sex and religion. And please put all your cell phones on aeroplane mode or switch off the phone. So that is the preferred one. I will give 10 seconds for all of you to keep it on aeroplane mode or switch it off. Please do not abruptly move out of the meeting or get into the meeting so that it may distract the speaker on this stage. So with this, I request our Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Pravda, to take over this session.
Thank you, SAE. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, very good afternoon and welcome you all to today's meeting. With the sound of this golden gavel, I declare meeting number 730 open. I would like to recognize our distinguished Toastmasters, DTM Sundararaman sir, DTM Thomas sir and DTM Guru Prasad sir. Welcome and thank you for joining today's meeting. So, let's have the guest introduction. May I now request guest Smriti, please come and introduce yourself.
Hello, hi, I'm Smriti and I'm doing my BTech in Chennai, and this is my second Toastmasters meeting, and I really enjoyed the first one because I told you all that I listened, that I could observe myself listening. So I hope I improve my listening skills and communicate confidently. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great learning experience today. Guest Ajit Kumar, please come and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Ajit. I am a part of Ford India Toastmasters Club, working in Ford as an emerging technology product owner. I am coming to experience this club, and again my family joined the Medley Toastmasters from today onwards. So want to see how they perform, encourage them and learn from this club. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to your new family members and looking forward to see you as a member soon. Guest Kalyani, please come and introduce yourself.
Good evening all. This is my 4th week of Toastmaster Club. I really feel excited when I see the Friday message in my WhatsApp stating these are the topics that will be discussed on Saturday. I was really expecting for this week as usual because last 3 weeks it was really good. So I expect same this time also. Thank you.
You will not miss any enjoyment and looking forward to see you soon as a member. And one more new member, Mr. Rembert, right? This is your first day?
No, third.
Third. Please introduce yourself.
I am myself Rambert. This is my third class here, and I came here for improving my public speaking skills. Yeah.
How did you know?
I don't know about this club, but I have attended as a guest in my HCL. As part of HCL, there is a club, so I tried that. So I wanted to join here.
Thank you so much.
So identity
Rambert.
Okay. So, what is special about tomorrow?
Sunday holiday.
Any? Exactly. Generally, our past president will start about today's date. I wanted to ask what is special tomorrow. Yes, it is International Mother's Day. Anybody of you know why the history or why it is celebrated? Why we all know, but how it started?
Make more business by selling articles.
Shopping much.
All days are celebrated only to sell articles by doing business.
I agree with you, sir. Yes, yes.
During vacation, people don't go for shopping much, so they invented this.
Both of you are partially correct. But this celebration of International Mother's Day began in 19th century. It was actually initiated by Miss Anna Garvis. She lost her mother in 1905, and she, in order to recognize the sacrifice that mothers do for their children, she started this Mother's Day celebration. She is from West Virginia, and the very first International Mother's Day was celebrated in 1908. And she also insisted the government of US to make this Mother's Day as an international holiday. And because of her pressure, the then president declared International Mother's Day as a government holiday, and the second Sunday of every May month is celebrated as International Mother's Day. But as sir said, soon it became very commercialized, where the florist, the confectionerist and these gift merchants, they started dominating this day. And till her death in 1948, she legally fought against these capitalist merchants to stop this capitalization of this Mother's Day celebration. But anyhow, we celebrate, and data also shows that there is 37% increase in phone calls during this particular day. And I would like to say that we have to recognize the importance of our mother every day. And with these words, I would like to hand over today to a person who is going to take this meeting forward. He is called the Toastmaster of the day. Today we have a very experienced Toastmaster. He makes every role, whatever he plays, very interesting and informative. And welcome, please join with me to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sundaresan.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Rhoda. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How do you feel today? How do you feel today? Great? That's great. Playing the role of Toastmaster of the day, my name is Toastmaster Sundaresan. Okay, please remember, we do have a lot of Sundars here. You know, in Hindi, Sundar is beautiful. Okay, it's my theme of the day is A with A. The moment I said our exam, what is that A with A? Then I explained to them, it's adapt with age, with certain factors here. We have to adapt in our life certain factors with age. Every factor I cannot, in every element I don't have time to cover today, but at least few things. The moment I decided A with A, on the dining table, my wife asked, so as usual you have started with something. My daughter-in-law was sitting, oh, you are going to talk about AA battery and AAA battery? She asked, she is not a Toastmaster. I said, no, it's A with A. Shall I change it to something with G with G or Z with Z? No. So let me stick to that, which I feel, this will give some space to share my thoughts with you all. Adapting is very much important in our life. We have to adapt the environment. We know change happens, but every change, we must be ready to adapt that particular situation in our life according to the age. Age also matters in this. I thought let me focus 30, 40, 50 age, few things I can share with you. The learning part, from day one we were learning until in the previous generation, they were working, they were earning, then they were retiring. But our generation has become, we have to learn yesterday, we have to learn today, and we must be ready to learn tomorrow also. The technology is moving ahead. I know those days when elders used to say, I don't want computers, we are old enough, just reluctant to learn only. But today, can we say that? No way. Every bank, every institution, every payment or savings goes with computerized technology. So we have to learn according to the age we are focusing to move ahead. Otherwise, we will be left over in the human race. So we have to learn. In the learning part, the most interesting is, you can say yearning is also there in learning, but later I will come to that word yearning. It's hidden in this one. Learning goes with the skill, the required skill in our day-to-day life and what is required for tomorrow. Example, this Toastmasters platform. I'm from the old school. DTM Thomas will be knowing, DTM Sundararaman will be knowing. We are all from old school. These new pathways came. Little bit we were reluctant. Let me confess, little bit reluctant. Again I had to learn. I have manual, 40 speeches, comfortable. I have already completed 20 in that one. The first 10 is the first milestone. I have won some awards in the competition. I am moving ahead. I am a mentor. Suddenly pathways came. I learned. I adapted that particular learning factor. I know if you want to stick to Toastmasters, you have to learn pathways. Otherwise, there is no space in here. So, adapting goes with age and with the latest technology, with any skill you are learning for your survival or for your job sake. So, learning is a must. Seeing the adapting to environment, it's the most interesting thing. The environment, you see, the first day of school, you all remember. The first day of college, certainly will remember. Some of you, instead of me talking all the time, I like interaction. Toastmaster Saravanan, something you can say about your first day of your college? From there itself, sir, no problem. It's okay.
I'll just come.
Oh, fine, welcome. I thought it will be. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, first day of college.
Yeah, actually I'm from a small town called as Tuticorin, where I was studying for the past 12 plus years in a boys' school. So I was excited when I got college, engineering college in Chennai. Two reasons. First time I'm coming to Chennai. Second is it's a co-ed college. So I was thinking I was more excited to come to Chennai and mingle with people and all. But unfortunately, I got into mechanical engineering. So adapting with age, what I did was, it was more of adapting from boys' school to college with boys as a mechanical engineer.
Thank you. It's a nice environment. Later you can make a speech about your co-ed also. Toastmaster session, the most busy person, where are you? Session, about something about your environment, about your working environment, how you adapted that environment, first job.
My first job was with PSU in Odisha.
Oh.
So as soon as I landed, the language was new, the food habits were new, and initially 2 to 3 months I was trying to understand where I am and what I was trying to do. Then I understood that first I need to learn the language of their home. So I started learning Odia and I started adapting. Means once I was bit accustomed to their language, then I was more adaptable to their environment and I was very close to their people.
Thank you, Toastmaster session, for sharing your thoughts. Adaptation is very much required in every job, within India and outside also. Let me share my experience. I thought by learning Hindi, and I know Tamil and English, and little Marathi and Gujarati also, I thought I can survive anywhere in India. Fine. The day I landed in Oman, Muscat, I was received by Pakistanis and Baluchis. They will speak only Arabic, okay, little bit Urdu. So they admired as an Indian, they do have respect. And they started talking in Hindi. I replied, but the environment and the weather was horrible. It was a military environment, which I am not used. I know only NCC experience, but that discipline was difficult for me. The moment we landed, we were asked to lift all the boxes and put it in the truck and straight go to the camp. I said, showed the contact time for the Ministry of Defense papers. Yalla, rope, kalas, yalla. So we went that environment. The first day night, I couldn't sleep, but I decided I have left Bombay with a purpose to earn money. After coming here, there is no need to go back and think about that. I have to complete my own mission. It's standing on my own leg. That was my adaptation. I accepted that new work environment. That helped me to stay for the next 35 years only in Gulf. So adaptation on the first day is the most difficult thing in our life. Going to that adaptation of a savings part, you all are working here in India, suddenly there will be, the company will take care of you, there will be insurance, there will be pension, several things. At different age, if you see, as an NRI, we don't have any pension. Whatever we earn as an NRI, without tax, that's only, I have to tell the truth, it's a benefit certainly. But when we come back, for every Panadol I purchase, paracetamol I purchase, I have to pay from my pocket. So savings part, young age is a must to take care of the family and parents and siblings. Then middle-aged, your family, it's a must. You have to adapt the savings. We cannot be lavish, especially COVID taught us a big lesson. What is a priority in life? So savings also play a part. Parallelly, we need some entertainment also. We are not robots. We cannot save all the money we earn. We have family, we have to learn skill, we have to think about our future. Moving ahead goes with savings. So adapting with age is an interesting thing with certain factors, but playing the role of TMoD, I do have some agenda here. I do have a role I have to move ahead with the speech session, then table topic session, then evaluation session. To continue this, let me invite the General Evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Sandhya, to brief her role. Madam Toastmaster Sandhya, the General Evaluator today. Yeah, be generous, hand of applause. She is a great dentist also. Yes.
Greetings and good evening. As a General Evaluator, I have two teams to support me. Before going on to my team, imagine a 6-month-old baby cries. The mother goes and feeds it. A 6-month-old baby cries. The mother goes and changes the diaper. A 6-month-old baby cries. The mother goes and gives medicine for the abdominal colic. The mother is able to listen, understand the voice, the tone, the volume, the pitch of the baby and the body movements of the baby, understand the baby, trace the problems and delivers the solution. My first team of evaluators are just like this. They listen, observe the speech, they understand the speech, they trace the areas of improvement and they deliver recommendations. The beauty is both the mother as well as our evaluators, they have only one pure noble intention to help the other person to grow. So my first team is a set of evaluators who will evaluate the prepared speech sessions. The second set, they call the tag team. The noun tag means a label that's attached to a product and the tag gives more information about the product. Similarly, our tag team, the timer, the R counter and the grammarian, they give information about the speeches that have been delivered in this platform. You can hear more from us over the later sessions. Now, I would request our tag team to come and brief their role. First, I would request timer, Toastmaster Wilson, to come and brief your role to the platform. Timer, Toastmaster Wilson.
Thank you, TM Sandhya. As a timer, my job is to help you, time your speeches, prepared speeches, table topics and evaluations. I'll also alert you in between the speeches by using these cards, how much time you left, how much time you have left to complete your speeches. And coming to the table topic speakers, table topic speakers should limit your speeches within 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green card. 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card, and 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And to qualify for the table topics, you should be at least speaking for 1 minute. And I recommend everybody to use a maximum time of 2 minutes available. Icebreaker speeches are not there today, but we have prepared speeches. Prepared speeches are for 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes I'll raise the green card, 6 minutes I'll raise the yellow card, and 7 minutes I'll raise the red card. Individual evaluations will be for a period of 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes I'll raise the green card, 2 minutes 30 seconds I'll raise the yellow card, at 3 minutes I'll raise the red card. This is the guidelines, and for the prepared speeches, you need to speak minimum for a period of for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You need to speak, and you can actually go for another 30 seconds on the timeline which has been fixed. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request our counter DTM Guru Prasad to come and brief your role, please. Over to you.
Sorry, that was my personal yarn, nothing to do with my role in this meeting. Toastmasters believes in making its member ready as a public speaker, both physically and psychologically. So I am playing that psychologist role today in observing how much the speakers have prepared themselves in telling their speech with their thoughts clearly converted into text and perfectly delivered to the audience. That's the purpose of the R counter. My job is not to see how many times you are saying ah, oo, im, etc., but to see whether your thoughts are properly converted to text and delivered as a speech. So this is actually the framework of an R counter. However, there are 3 elements in it. One is called the filler words like ah, oo, im. Without a meaning, you insert them. I'll be counting if they are doing it and come out with a report. Second is using filler words itself. You don't know what to do, suddenly you say and you know all that stuff. Particularly if you had gone to US for 1 week and next day onwards you start saying you know before a sentence or at the end of the sentence. It comes, you think it's style. You don't even realize that you are irritating the other person. Sorry, I don't mean you, every individual, in general. The last one is, many times we repeat the words because we are stuck somewhere in our thoughts or in our delivery. All these things, as per the guidelines of Toastmasters International, I will be observing, and in the end I will come back and I will give my report. Remember, I have already started observing. My notebook is half full. So I will be delivering the rest in the end. I am your villain, I am your psychologist. And last reminder, there will be a quiz during my R counter report session, particularly for Tamil movie watchers, and specifically if you are MGR fans or Kamal Hassan fans, there is a quiz for you in my end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. I request Grammarian, Toastmaster Rangarajan Padmavijayam to come and brief your role, please. And please say the word of the day. Over to you, sir.
Luckily, DTM Guru Prasad has filled half the page, so we can make as many ahs and ooms before the meeting is over. So having said that, as a grammarian, there are 3 important things. One is to keenly listen to what people say, to what the members and guests say, and note them down. Exceptional usage of words or phrases will be noted down, as well as improper usage of words and phrases. Now, for me to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is assert. I request all the members to use this and guests while they are speaking. And as DTM Guru Prasad mentioned, I'm going to place it this way around so that the speakers can observe this and speak. The meaning of assert is to state or declare positively, sometimes forcefully. The word used in the sentence is, he found it hard to assert himself with his new colleagues. Another usage is, children like to assert their independence from their parents. I'll present my report at the end of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep it here.
Thank you.
So thank you, TAC team, and we and our team will be back. We'll give you a lot of insights and inputs after the speeches are done. Over to the TMoD.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Let's jump into the speech session. We do have two speakers today. For the first speaker, Toastmaster Shanmugavel, we do have an excellent evaluator. So now I request the first evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, to brief the speech objectives. Madam Toastmaster Prasanna Vani.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Shanmugavel is delivering a speech from the pathway Dynamic Leadership, Level 1, Project 2, which is writing a speech with purpose. The objective of this project is for the member to learn the methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. All the best to you, Toastmaster Shanmugavel, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, ma'am. First speaker, Toastmaster Shanmugavel. Speech title, Seize the Opportunities. Speech title, Seize the Opportunities, Toastmaster Shanmugavel.
Thank you, sir. The sea is same for all, but some points fishes, some points fears, and some points their feedback. Like that, life is common to all. We will one get what we try for. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. During my college day, I was admired by a person who was unemployed till the age of 32. Later became a very good businessman by using his all the opportunity which came onto his life. First, he started as a small businessman, then later became a successful entrepreneur and giving jobs to few youths also. Using this opportunity. Opportunity means we can say assertive thoughts, or like that what Saravanan told, adapt to that particular environment. Opportunity means to get a chance what you want to do, that you would like to do. Opportunity differs from person to person and time to time also. But we have to keep our eye and ears open, always to looking for this best opportunity. Opportunity knocks every person's doors. It is up to the individual to recognize and utilize that. Some people ignore several opportunities which come to their life across. From my college young age onwards, I wanted to become an entrepreneur, but I couldn't be able to do due to non-availability of enough money. One day, I thought instead of thinking big, let us try something in a small way with available opportunity. Avail Bangalore and initiated renting bicycle to the local people. In a short time, I have earned good amount of money. It gave me a little confidence to further venture out more, and I was also happy. I am helping to the society. But here I want to disclose one secret, that even though I have earned money, but I didn't know cycling that time. My parents were constructing the house at that time, facing several problems with the laborers, mainly due to their irregularity for construction work. I came to know that root cause of that one, that is non-availability of the construction tools on rental. Like we can say a big hammer, earth, a rammer, then ticking part, drums, water drums, manual, seed, sand, sieve, pickers, and spade, etc. I remember that a quote by a writer, Roy Pinnan. Turn the opportunity, obstacles for your opportunity, turn the problem into possibility. So I have invested some money on that and purchased those items for myself as well as for rental also. This opportunity gave me enough money for my construction of my house as well as gave me lot of confidence for further venture out. There is a condition that you will become rich if your investment works for you for 24 hours. Then I want to invest my money in the safest way. The Warren Buffett has once said that don't put all eggs in one basket. So I want to search for another opportunity. Another opportunity came, I have grabbed it very quickly. That is, those time the PD leaves on tobacco particles have demand for huge amount. I have purchased those items and I have supplied to those industries. As the demand was so high, I have earned a lot of money. It gives me, initially it gives me a lot of money, but I was not satisfied because my friends, they were joking that you are a non-smoker, but you are doing a PD business. So my conscience didn't allow me to further continue. So I have stopped this one. What I have learned from this lesson that opportunities are abundant around us. We have to utilize properly. The life will never give any warranty or guarantee. It will provide the possibility and opportunity. Grabbing the right opportunity with right time, we have to make them into success. To conclude that, I want to mention the word of Ambani. Opportunities. Often people think opportunities is a matter of luck. I believe opportunity is around us. Some seize, others stand, let it pass. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shanmugavel. Now let's move ahead. For the second speaker, Toastmaster Venkataseshan, now I request Toastmaster Saravanan to read the speech objectives. Toastmaster Saravanan, please.
Toastmaster Venkataseshan is giving a speech on Motivational Strategies Pathways, Level 4, Project 1, Motivate Others. There are two purposes for this speech. The first purpose is for the project itself. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to motivate a team through the completion of a project. The second purpose, this purpose is for the speech itself. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his experience in motivating team members through the completion of a project. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best. Over to them.
Thank you, Evaluator Toastmaster Saravanan. Let me invite Toastmaster Venkataseshan with speech title RASA. RASA or RASA?
RASA.
RASA. The speech title RASA, Toastmaster Venkataseshan.
Thank you, TMoD. I am grabbing the proverb which Toastmaster Shanmugavel has used. Opportunity knocks once. This is a famous proverb we all know. What an optimist would rephrase this proverb to? Any guesses?
Opportunity always knocks.
Good guess.
Open the other door.
Very well. Okay. I would say, if you have missed it, go and knock at its door so that you could grab it from there. So, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, good afternoon. Please note, I am going to talk about a scenario on which I will ask a question later in my speech. Okay? Now, moving on to the scenario. A decade back, when I joined an IT company, after 10 years of experience in a power plant, I was in a honeymoon period for initial few months, let's say 6 months. And then slowly, some kind of anxiety grabbed in. I was wondering what I am doing in an IT company, where I am placed, what is my position, what I am doing here. Slowly, it moved from aspirations to anxiety, dexterity to desperations, and finally, my all interests into my impatience. I wasn't sure what is my responsibility here, what I am going to do. One day, I was invited into a meeting. I entered the meeting room. Raghu, our vice president is a level below the CEO of my company. He was chairing the meeting, and all the leaders from under him, they were sitting on the other side, and we all, the managers, were standing here. Arvind, what happened? Two people have resigned in the last 2 weeks, within a month of starting the project. And I am attending your escalation calls every night. What else should I do? Should I come and work for you? What you are doing? What is the ground situation? Arvind, sir, you know, nuclear power domain consultant is very niche area. It is very difficult to get, not only within our company, but also in the industry. So, what should I do? My eyes sparkled like anything. I raised my hands. Arvind, if I may, I would like to take that position. Who is this gentleman? Sir, he has joined as a new power plant consultant. He doesn't have the nuclear power plant experience, but I am sure he will be able to do. This is the normal managers tell for any kind of resources needs. So he said, okay, process this visa, let's do it quickly, okay? I came out, and Ashok, my friend, he came running to me. Hey fool, it's a sinking ship, man. Why did you take that role? Hey, you know my desperate situation, right? I need to prove myself. I want some recognition. I want some identity. Where I am in this company, I want to prove, if not to my boss, at least to myself. It's almost 9 months, man. What should I do? I took up the responsibility. I took up the challenge. I didn't stop there. I reached out to a lot of experts in nuclear power domain. And I spoke to some of my friends who are working in nuclear power plants. And slowly I started understanding the processes, and later I started getting recognition not only from my bosses and Raghu, but also from my customer. So that was the scenario where I got motivated myself and I got moving ahead in my career. Now, as a part of this project in Toastmasters International, motivating a team, I came to understand about a framework which is called RASA, R-A-S-A, where you can find either of these 4 motivating factors in each individual or each team member in your team. As a leader, you need to identify and recognize them using those 4 tools. Any of these 4 tools or combination of these 4 tools. So those are called RASA, R-A-S-A. R stands for recognition, like Star of the Month award which we get in Medley Toastmasters, or the Rolling Cup which we get every week here. The second one is the achievement, like district winner, division winner, runner-up. Those are the achievements which gives motivation to some of the people. The third one is S, stands for status, where you say distinguished Toastmaster, division director. So those kind of status gives a pride and kind of accomplishments for some of the people. And the last one is the affiliation. Some people feel, oh, if I get a green card, or I become a citizen of US or a citizen of Australia, then I feel accomplished. So these are the different kind of motivation factors that you can find in each members. So with this learning of all these tools, I was given a task to conduct the last milestone meeting of our club with a team of Medley members. I took all these tools on my hand, and with these magic bands, I was thinking, okay, I will motivate this guy, or this, or Guru Prasad. But when I attended the meetings and we started doing the rehearsals, I found that I am among all these self-motivated Medley members. I don't need to use any of these tools. They are self-motivated. They are in for all the achievements and recognition that they are looking for. and it was a wonderful success which you would have seen in our last milestone meeting. So as a sample of this, I would like to show a video of how the team was motivated. Before I close this and show this video, I would like to tell one small story which I was discussing with my wife yesterday night. When a patient was lying on a bed, his friend came running towards him and he said, "Hey, come on man, I know you can do it. You are resilient, you are very confident, positive. Come on, I know that next month you can do the marathon." The doctor was holding the pulse of the patient and said, he's dead 2 hours before. So before you identify the motivation factors, know about the team member. What is his motivation? What is his interest is all about, and what is your project needs around it, and define your motivation factors and motivate your team. Before I end this, I would like to show a small video about how my team was motivated. Thank you. So, this was my self-motivated team, because of which I could come and stand and speak about motivating a team, how to motivate a team, and thank them for giving an opportunity to me to learn how to motivate a successful team. Over to you, team.
Thank you, RASA. Thank you, Toastmasters session. Good. We have completed that speech session today with 2 speakers. Just to continue with that, adapt my team, TMoD team, adapt with age. Let me complete the safety part. Does it have any age, that element? No. From day one, we have to be safe, and we have to be safe and make others also safe. That's the most thing. Well, on the road, we must have the lane discipline while driving. In the house, also we must have a lot of safety things. We have to inculcate those good things to our children also. The working environment, whether we like it or not, we have to follow the SOPs, standard operating procedures of safety, and the earth revolves in the axis of safety. We have to obey safety. With all these elements, adapt with age, learning, environment, savings, safety, according to the age, I have shared my thoughts. With this, TMoD, my role of explaining the theme concludes. Now the next session is table topic session.
Prepare speech.
Yeah, out of the 2 speakers, timer, could you please mention the qualified speaker among the 2? Both are qualified speakers. That is Toastmaster Shanmugavel and Toastmaster Venkataseshan, both the speakers. Fine. For the next session, table topic session, we do have one of the senior members, DTM Sundararaman, previous president of Medley, and a good orator. He has participated several contests also. We are going to learn something. He is going to play the role of table topic master, giving the topics in impromptu session, and be ready for the session to open your mind and heart to say something in that limited 2 minutes. Try your best. This is not a competition, so just share your thoughts. Over to you, DTM Sundararaman sir, playing the role of table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how many of you are familiar with sharing your videos in YouTube, or do you have any of your YouTubers here? Good, good. So what is the duration of any YouTube video?
It depends on what you want to come.
So there is no limit.
But my personal experience is, if I dispatch a video of too much of a length, the audience count is less.
Right. How many of you are familiar with this concept called shorts or reels? What is the duration of a short video? Less than 1 minute. So as a YouTuber, probably you would have produced 100 videos of varied duration, but one short video which is less than 1 minute, that may steal the show. So all of a sudden your subscriber base would have doubled or tripled, so you don't know the magic. So sometimes a miracle can happen. So taking the same analogy, sometimes you toil and then prepare yourself for days together to come and give a prepared speech. But the session called the table topic session, impromptu session, you may give a speech for 1 minute to maximum 2 minutes, and you will steal the show. You may steal the hearts of the audience. So that is what is going to happen today. So today, going along with the theme, adapt with age. So I will try to align my table topic session with this. What happens to the intelligence with the age? Experience grows with the age, but intelligence, doubtful, right? So at that time when the natural intelligence dies down, what is the alternative? What is the alternative? Take the help of artificial intelligence. So that is what I am going to do today. So as explained by TMoD, I am not going to be the table topic master, I am going to be the table topic facilitator. So give me 1 minute to set this up. Probably I can. Thank you so much. Today I am going to use the artificial intelligence tool called ChatGPT. How many of you are familiar with that? Cool. So I will take the help of ChatGPT to spell out the topics for you. Where with the technology issues? This will be the topic for the first speaker, who is the taker. I will read out the non-role players. Any one of you can come down. Non-role players: Kaushalya, Suresh, Pearl, Sisi, Bala, Ananta, Gomati. Who is the first speaker? Bala? Is that? Yeah. The topic is success is not final, failure is not the fatal. It is the courage to continue the counts. Toastmaster Bala.
Yes, I resonate with this. I have never shied away from taking risk in life. The reason is I believe success is not final and failure is not fatal. To give you a personal example, during the last 30 years, I changed my career 6 times. Right? I started my life as a corporate finance guy. When I saw an opportunity in ports, I went to United Nations. When ports got results for market, I moved to credit rating. When ports were privatized, I moved to advise the government on privatization. When private projects happened following the framework, I began financing them. When they got into dispute, I became a lawyer. Now I'm reconciling disputes. I don't know what I'm ahead, but I think I believe in taking chances in life, and I always anticipate and sort of crystallize what's going to happen, and that's what keeps me told. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next speaker would be Toastmaster Pearl. Like the table topic speaker, even I don't know what topic we are going to give. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Toastmaster.
So the table topic for me is the only way to do great work is to love what you do by Steve Jobs. I definitely feel that the only way to do great work is to love what you do, but it does not happen in all situations, right? So as the meeting started with, you need to grab your opportunities and utilize it to the fullest. You might come up with failures in your life, but there is no one in this world who can refrain from committing failures, right? Then we can as well say that you haven't lived a life at all. This is not my sentence, this is J.K. Rowling's sentence. So I feel you must take every opportunity and throw light on that, utilize it to the fullest, and I'm sure success will be yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The next speaker will be Toastmaster Anand. Believe you can and you are halfway there. Believe you can and you are halfway there. Toastmaster Anand.
We live in a world of artificial intelligence and natural stupidity. What we are seeing today is a classic case of the man not controlling the table topic, but it's the system which is controlling. Isn't it absolutely amazing? Today, what did we just witness? We saw Toastmaster Guru exhort us, don't come over here. He gave us a warning. What else did we see over here? We saw Toastmaster of the Sundar told us adapt with age. We're going to see Toastmaster Abraham sculpting the speech. But the most important thing is we are all over here believing that something is important over there. I had a chance I had experience RASA, I had also chance to experience RASA at home. I came over here just to enjoy because I believe that Toastmasters is a place that you sacrifice 2 hours, it's an investment for you. I have taken a decision because I believe that this place, even if you speak for 2 minutes, the amount of learning which you give is unparalleled. That's one. Second thing is, how many of you believe that you have to be fit? But how many of you actually take action? The reason you don't take action is you don't believe it from the heart. You have to tell yourself that even if I walk for 15 minutes, it is important for me. Be it Toastmasters, be it your health, or be it a relationship, you have to believe. It's very rightly said by the hero of believe and you get that. I still remember in a previous Toastmasters club, there was a female who was with me and was telling me, Ananthan, I'm feeling nervous. I don't believe that I can do it. I told her, take a deep breath. Just hang in there. She went to the podium. She just took something like this. And after 2 seconds, she blanked out. I came over here. I told her, you know what happened to you? You believe that you will fail, and it will. And I think Shah Rukh Khan very clearly said, the universe will conspire whatever you do, if whatever you do, as long as you believe in that. So if you feel that you are going to be a good speaker, believe that you are a speaker. If you believe that you are going to be a good human being, believe that. If you believe that Toastmasters and Medley is a great place to go, believe that. So I leave you only one thought, believe in yourself and you find that the world is a better place.
Thank you so much. Next would be guest Kalyan. The power of imagination makes us infinite. The power of imagination makes us infinite. Guest Kalyan.
In today's world, this line goes really true for everyone. As you say, for example, if you take the chicken, that thing, I don't get it, it is Hollow of Famous. What is the name?
KFC.
Yes. Yeah, it started, he started that in a very small, but in all over the world, it is very famous. Because he imagined, like, we have to do something new. The same way he did that. Similarly, we see daily advertisement. These are all imagination. Because of that imagination, the product goes well, and everyone is getting that. Now, whoever needs to become rich because of this imagination, and they by thinking differently, they can do it. They are doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have Toastmaster C here? The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. But
it's true that whenever a bad situation comes in our life, we should not fall. And another thing is, actually I'm nervous.
you have to get up when you fall down. When you have failure, you have to.
Did you get into any such experience?
Yeah, even I'm the example for not a failure. It's a true event happened in my life. That is an uninvited guest in my life. I can tell I'm a cancer fighter actually. So after listening to this, as everyone, myself and my family gone through the same condition, in a very bad condition. After that, my husband got one book of Lance Armstrong. He's a bikist. How he, after coming to know about his testicle cancer and how he overcome, after reading that book, I just come out and I got the confidence to come out, and finally I gone through all situations very well. So
The next speaker would be Toastmaster Gomti ma'am. You can sit from there and then.
You can sit and talk.
Can you please read out?
Yeah, sure. You are never too old. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. I have not set it up. So this is coming from
I am standing here as an example. I came here with my daughter a few meetings back. But I was a bit afraid that I won't be able to talk anything. But that very first day, I got the TT. My God. Anyway, the subject was good. Modi. Modi was not. So it was very easy for me. Whether I spoke for a few seconds, that's all. But I got my confidence that I can speak a few words at least, facing some people. Yeah, that's good. So I was confident that day. But the next meeting, I was a bit anxious. Even yesterday I was anxious. I will get this opportunity to talk. I know DTM Sundararaman will definitely put me. I was expecting this from you. So I was ready that I will be prepared. And he is great. I am very grateful that he has given me a proper topic to talk, which fits me. And I am standing here to prove that age is not a factor. Take the opportunity, adapt yourself, and get going with the but many things I am not able to understand. Even now, so many things you are telling, no, I cannot. Anyway, I will try my best.
Toastmaster Gomati is a classic example for today's theme, adopt with the age. And by the way, I am her mentor, and my next immediate goal is to persuade her to do her icebreaker speech. Definitely I will succeed. The next speaker will be Kausalya, Toastmaster Kausalya. Happiness is not something ready-made, it comes from your own actions. Happiness is not something ready-made, it comes from your own actions. Toastmaster.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Actually, in my Facebook page and even in the Toastmasters page, I have kept it the quote as happiness is your attitude and not a future condition. Because we all have some goal in life like we have to achieve, whether it is financial or work related. And when we achieve that, the perimeter increases. You know, we go to the next goal. So each and every time, whenever you get success, you have to be happy. And if you face failure also, it gives an opportunity for us to learn something. So you should be happy about the failure also. So happiness is not something, I don't know whether I'm talking about the topic. Happiness is not something ready-made, it comes from your own action. So you try your best in whatever you do and be happy. Thank you.
Can I have the Toastmaster Suresh? The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Toastmaster Suresh.
Hello everyone. So the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. So this reminds me of the concept that Albert Einstein. You all know about Albert Einstein, right? A physicist. So he once told that imagination is a knowledge. It's a form of knowledge, and you can't imagine. When you know everything, you can't imagine. So according to Albert Einstein, you imagine something because you don't know about it. Imagination is a form of wisdom. It's a form of knowledge. So. So if you have, so in terms of wisdom, it's not like you're talking about advice or you're talking about your technical knowledge. It's about your ability to imagine. So that's my belief on the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing is when you can imagine. That shows the wisdom you have and the fuel that you want to move on to the next goal and conquer new things. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, to report. Success is not how high you have climbed, but how you make a positive difference to the world. Success is not how high you have climbed, but how you make a positive difference to the world.
Yeah. So sometime back in the class, we got the definition of what is leadership. So what is leadership? If you see there is a problem and you grab the problem and resolve the problem, so that is the leadership. So similarly, this is not you have a solution but there is not a problem, then there is. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. So the differentiating factor.
Yeah. So you are good at something, but you are not able to do any difference in the world. Then that goodness is not good for the world. So.
The last speaker for today's table participation would be guest Smriti. The best way to predict your future is to create it. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Yes, Pradeep.
So, the best way to predict your future is to create it. I'm going to deviate from the topic because the moment I see predict, machine learning comes to my mind. Because in machine learning, we often face problems regarding prediction, predicting the prices of the house, predicting, what classification problems, for example. The best way to predict your future is to create it.
Machine language cannot create it.
Yeah. A little help.
Join the Toastmasters.
When you make
what do you find as
future-
difference between prediction and creating it?
When you make
That's
it yourself,
It's in your hands. So you can more than predict.
You're predicting that you'll become the biggest dancer. How will you create it? I know you're a dancer, right?
Yeah. So, no,
Did somebody tell you how to join BTech, or you gain an opportunity to join BTech?
I already learned.
Can you elaborate? That's your topic.
So why you wanted to become a...
No problem.
Just try.
you predicted your
No
future.
problem.
Sorry.
So today being the table topic table topic facilitator, I thoroughly enjoyed this session thanks to ChatGPT, but I come with one disclaimer. So whatever the names, celebrity names associated with the proverbs, it may or may not be attributed to that person because ChatGPT or the artificial intelligence can also make mistakes. I have seen such kind of mistakes in the past. Please don't take it literally. But today idea was to take with the power of technology, adapt with age. I straightly try to deviate, adapt with age. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Over to TM.
Thank you. Shall we have one topic for our table topic facilitator? Yes. Permission?
Sure.
What will be the future of AI, sir?
So AI, already people have started predicting that it is going to kill all creative business. For example, right now what is happening is there is a profession called copy editing. So and the copy editors charge per word. Suppose if you write a book, if you want to get that edited by copywriters, they charge per word 60 paise or 70 paise. That job is going to vanish. With the power of AI, you can get your books or your speech draft. So you write some rough draft and get it paraphrased through using AI tools. Similarly, the paintings, drawings, all that can be created with the artificial intelligence. A lot of people may use it, but still people who know the value of manual work, they will value it. Definitely that cannot be done. But the mass scale production of certain activities like the interpretation of your ECG, the interpretation of your X-ray, all these jobs will be taken over by the machine. So that is with my limited understanding.
Thank you, sir. But I thought one of the topics was you know nothing, rather my name should have come in that as a table topic speaker. I don't know much of this thing. Overall, new members, yes. Did you all enjoy the session? We had the speech session, we had the table topic session, we are moving ahead. Every club has its own identity of conveying their knowledge by the seasoned Toastmasters to juniors. By that it's cascaded. I take this opportunity, please attend the annual conference by this month end. Forget the money. Certainly it's worth for the money. It's a rare experience. Once in a year we get to attend the annual conference. Don't miss. It's finals of Tamil Nadu contest plus other things, education modules and keynote speeches will be there. Please attend. That's how we all learn. The next session, with the permission of VP, we are going to the next session. I close my topic. I feel education module is much more important. Now I invite one seasoned Toastmaster of our club. Before that, the one request from ExCom is please fill up that slip for the eligible Timer, could you please read your report of the table topic? Speakers only.
Qualified speakers and guests first. Then we have TM Anand. Then we have TM CC. Then we have TM Gomati.
Little louder, please.
Yeah. TM Gomati.
Yeah.
TM CC. TM Anand.
Yeah.
Guest first. Then we have guest Shruti.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah. That's great. So you can fill up the best speaker already might have done. You can now fill up the best TT speaker in this one. Now I invite to conduct one education module with the title Sculpt Your Script. Sculpt Your Script. DTM Thomas Sir. DTM Thomas, a seasoned Toastmaster. I'm proud to say I have competed with him in the contest. So in this way we all learn. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, TMoD. My assertive opinion, having seen any number of speeches and have mentored lots of mentees both in speechcraft and in Toastmasters, is the Achilles heel in our speechcraft is, any guesses? Where are we weakest? Where do we lose it out?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Anxiety is a cause. In my view, it's in drafting the speech. We are good at delivery, we know where to raise our voice, but if the base script is not right, we are suboptimally delivering. It's my honest opinion. Based on that, I would like to use this session to run through with you. You know what's the operative word here?
Sculpt.
Sir?
Sculpt.
No. It's in the middle. Participative. Exactly. Okay? Then it works. Otherwise, I will be giving my own master's voice. The background is this. Timer, can please start now. Okay. The background is this. A young man and his mom meet a spunky girl in a Bangalore Chennai night bus trip. The girl vehemently objects to a drunk sitting next to her. The young man switches seats with her. He instantly falls in love with her. Later, his parents approach with an alliance plan, which is turned down, saying she is too young to marry. This is how the story starts, because I'm only giving you the remaining 270 words, which we will mull over and improve. Right? Now this onwards, kindly watch carefully, read carefully. We will change this. Nearly after that old story, that means parents said, no, she's too young to marry. Nearly after 6 months, that's how it's written, a heavy rain sank Chennai city that led to traffic jam in arterial roads. People traveling in government and company buses alighted from the bus and started to walk their home as the rain continued to slash with no sign to cease. He caught a bus on OMR in front of his office. As almost every place was flooded, a lot of people commuting from OMR stagnated near Tiruvanmiyur signal for hours. When his bus reached Tiruvanmiyur after 2 hours journey, he got down from the bus and started to walk to his house in Indiranagar. Caveat, disclaimer, this is not my text. This is written by one of my mentees long time back when I was his mentor in a speechcraft. I know the guy, I still remember him, I thank him every time I present this. So I'm not responsible for anything that's written here. Now, we cannot all rewrite this. Time would not allow. But what I would request you is, in our views, can we hear some views? What can be changed? What is the direction of change? We will not say, let's do this sentence. That will be too, yes sir.
All unwanted phrases, unwanted sentences can be knocked out.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Yeah? What do we say? What do we say that in 5S? Muda. In 5S you say, throw out the unnecessary. That's the word. Yes, sir.
Now, are they connected? First, like the previous story and this story?
It's the same story. First story, I saved your time. So now this is the actual script. What would you like to do? Any thoughts? Anybody? Brilliant. With you?
Any generic contents could be
removed.
Which is very well known.
Such as?
Obvious.
So there need not be government and company buses.
Very good.
Because
Exactly. I've noted that point. Yeah, Venkat, you're saying something?
Yeah, so the roads from Chennai city lead to traffic jam and the arterial roads.
With you. By the way, time me at 18 and at 20 and 25. Give me my, warnings. Absolutely, I'm with you. Each of this point that you raise, and you see this, I'm not pretending. My first point is transition. Something happened long time back. Now I'm saying after 6 months, heavy rain sang. You need to move comfortably in your mind, no? Your transfer of, your mind in time, you need to give some time. So transition, we should give some time. Once. Second, therefore, I will simply say, fast forward 6 months, torrential rains sink Chennai city. It's like the Hindu headline. Then you get into details, teeny details. Something happened, he was rejected by the parents, 6 months passed, right? So I would say, fast forward 6 months. Torrential rains sink Chennai city. If you agree, I will go back to my other objections. Some of them are already here. Transition, you will take care that way. Second, collect the connected. You said, Venkat, that generic you said. I find water all over. Can you see from top till bottom there is water? Right? Collect the connected. When we write, typically, similar ideas come in different places. Finally, we have to collect it. That's how we make a speech, right? You don't write fully formed speeches. At times, some additional thought. We collect the connected. That's the concept of paragraph, of points 1, 2, 3, 4. Point number 4, wherever it's lying, we'll bring it together, right? That's what I'm saying. Third, jump the irrelevant. Absolutely. Fourth, fact versus knowledge. One small little thing. Remember, if you use your credibility as a speaker, see, here you're saying, his bus reached Thiruvanmiyur after 2 hours journey. Okay, that's what, sorry. People, OMR stagnated near Thiruvanmiyur signal for hours. How do you know? I just came by my bus. How do you know all of you are waiting for many hours? Don't, use common sense and make it as specific on your case. That shakes the credibility. So all put together, this is how I have compressed it also. Without warning, arterial roads were flooded and traffic ground to a gridlock. Stalemate. The youth abandoned the bus. He boarded on OMR after 2 hours. That's important. 2 hours is important. Started to walk towards his home in Indiranagar. He saw a huge crowd stranded near Thiruvanmiyur city. Anyone has an alternative thought? Ranga, you have attempted something.
No.
You're fine. Okay. We'll now move to the next part. Are we okay?
At Indiranagar, do we need what's his home? Whether at Indiranagar, close by, is it?
Again, where is his home? In fact, there's somewhere else I'm going to say this. Specifics are very important. Indiranagar, you say, people can visualize credibility. Exactly. Detailing. In fact, elsewhere I'll come. In my view, it's my view. Sorry. Here. Then he saw same girl stranded along with her colleagues talking to a hostel warden over the phone who advised the girl not to come to hostel as the entire road was completely flooded. Any thoughts? Suggest to me what could be corrected, not how it could be corrected. What's wrong with this? Any thoughts? Madam?
Too long a sentence.
Absolutely. The whole thing is compressed in one sentence, right? No way to treat the audience. Second.
The entire role was flooded is already detailed earlier.
Okay. No, but that she says. By the way, how did you hear what the warden is telling the girl? Same problem. We are assuming, never take the audience for fools. This is what it is, right? So, my wanting to say something and my stating it realistically, there's a difference.
I don't like the word same girl.
You don't like the same girl. You want variety.
It's not a fixation. It shows some fixation. You see, you should put some juicy word, the bus girl, something to excite the audience.
See, some of them are very subjective. There is no answer. Quite right. In yours, I mean, please, it's fine.
You need to draw them into the edge of the seat, right?
But I have a view. With you. So, my first problem is, where is the dynamism of language? Of talking, of dialogue? You will see with dialogue, you can create a persona. Here I am reporting like a reporter.
Narrative.
There is no, exactly. That's one. Second, decompress. You said, Toastmaster Sandhya, you said, decompress. But I'm so glad I'm walking on this firm ground because I'm getting approval for my thoughts from all of you, which makes me it's validation. I feel good. Third is fact versus knowledge. Same thing. I mean, the colleague, exactly. By the way, same girl, I am for same girl. You know why? Spunky girl. He liked that character of hers. Same girl, the same girl, not just any girl. I mean, we can have a debate over samosa. Oh, have you changed the menu?
Then use the word spunky, no?
Okay,
spunky.
Sure. So, fact versus knowledge. So, my suggestion would be, at the bus stop, by the way, at times you may have to increase the word count. Keep that in, earlier we have saved already, no? So here I can use it. Where am I using it? At the bus stop, you were surprised to spot the same spunky girl. Sir, both our views are taken. Diplomatically beautiful sentence. Both of us are agreed, right? Exactly. So this is the answer. Again, how did I envision this? How did I imagine this? What we wanted is here. He stopped, wanting to talk to her. Very natural, right? Meanwhile, turn away from him. That's a beauty. He wants all this. She's there. I'm giving you a visual picture. She's turned away and she's talking. She's saying, true ma'am, no way can you leave the hostel. We are trying to find some friends living somewhere here. We will keep you informed. What do you think of that person's mental state, her personality? By the way, I know two of you are suffering this again. We had gone through this, I know. Sorry, yeah. What do you think of that person?
See, actually, I don't like the word surprise. He was excited to see.
Okay, we'll do that. So, I'll take that. So, what do you think of that person? Cool, excited?
Yeah.
Disappointed?
Not yet.
No, she's composed. She knows what to do.
She
knows what the problem
she's a cool,
is.
exactly. She's a rational person. Now, in my earlier report, did you get an idea about her? Because of my dialogue, you're getting that feeling. Right? Then, true man, okay, fine. So turned away from her. Otherwise, how will you explain her not attending to him? So, that you have to add so that people can visualize. Again, when we do a speech, a story, either we can do it like puppeteers. We are all watching, Katputli, puppeteers do this. He sits and do this, and we all watch from here. We are so third person, we are so from the heaven, like God we are watching. Can we be watching it as part of the audience? That is the transition. It's as if, that spy cam, what is that thing called? Steady cam. If I can fix a steady cam onto the hero's head, then I can feel like it. Perspective. Steady cam. Yeah, spike, whatever cam. That is what we must try and do. So that I must feel like the hero, right? I must see what he sees, I must feel what he feels. So that transition is something we must try and attempt. Then, with no hope of where to go, the girl stood up on the platform, having discussions with their hostel mates, and soon she sees the same guy who passes by them. Recognizing him, the girl spoke openly about the terrible ordeal they had been through. Any take, anyone? Anyone? What's wrong with this? You know the story so far. You saw the girl, you want to talk to her, but she's turned the other way. So she's talking, so she's a smart girl, a clever, courageous girl. That's the feeling I get. And now here, the girl stood up on the platform and discussions. Soon she sees. Now she turns around and sees him. And what does she do? Recognizing him, she spoke openly about the terrible ordeal they had been through. How can we improve this passage?
There is no smooth transition. Suddenly, the second sentence, all of a sudden.
recognizing to plan.
He is passing through, then immediately she starts talking about the terrible hard air. Maybe there could be a small talk.
Absolutely. You know what DTM Guru is saying? She turns around, sees him, suddenly she pulls out her sob story. Like some, yeah, I get that. Sure. Any other thoughts? No, this is exactly, we will be amazed at our own writing. At times we find it so foolish, what we do. So we will correct it. Yes, sir.
No, I think the word she sees or is actually redundant. Soon she recognizes the guy who, I thought it's verbose. You have to, you first see, recognize. I think you can cut it short actually.
Possible, but I'm not thinking she is talking. She turns around, she sees him, recognizes him, right? Possible. Let's see what I have done. So help visualize again. She is talking like this, she turns around, sees him, then she talks. You are decompressed in a way, you are breaking it into pieces, the actions. So that's what I propose we do. So that will help people visualize. Secondly, we are dealing with humans, not pawns. Same issue. When you see it like God sees from top, everything is happening, pawn and bishop and all are having their play. But where are we in that? Where is our mind in that? We are so detached. So the idea is to bring it closer. How? When she turned around, she's on the phone. When she turns around, she saw him quickly overcoming the diffidence. Guru says, okay, please tell me. She introduces her friends and openly shared with him his predicament. Quickly overcome his diffidence, which is not there in the original. I added this. Will it help? Is that what you meant?
Yeah. So she introduced her friends.
Kind of
a small talk.
Then
you talk about the
exactly. Yes, brother.
See, she only now saw, recognized and all everything kept. Saw him, quickly overcoming problems, right? So there's no recognition and all that, right? That's very immanent in this.
So because two sentences.
That's the beauty of English.
One is physically what's happening. Turn around, see him.
I think the conjunction is good. The quickly overcoming her difference, that sorts of
kind of. See, you understand the original text was not mine, so I was trying to, but again do it within number of words, fewer words. Now, understanding the critical situation, that is, she explains to him the problem. Now, understanding the critical situation, the guy offered to help by taking them all straight to his house nearby, Indiranagar, 2 kilometers away. Yeah, it helps. You leave such thoughts in your speech to be pulled out when required. She, by taking them straight to his house nearby, where they could have food and spend the night, eventually decide on next course of action. With little hesitation means no hesitation or some hesitation. Don't ask me, I didn't write this. That's wrong actually. Here it is, with some hesitation is what is meant here. Again, some hesitation. The girl and 4 of her hostel mates accepted to go with him. They were given a warm greeting by his parents who had made all the arrangements for their dinner, change of clothes, and stay for the night, odomus and hot water and what else? Missing, these details are missing, right? Guru, should we add it? No, I'm saying.
It depends on the length of the sentence.
No, but I'm saying, do we need to say all this? I was being sarcastic. When you do sarcasm, people laugh. When I do sarcasm, I laugh at myself. They were given a warm greeting by her parents who had made all the arrangements for the dinner, change of clothes, and stay for that night. Anyway, before she left, she told her what he felt about her. She also told him. He thanked the floods for the rain. 271 words. So what can we do here? What can we do here? How can we improve this? Or is it okay?
The good intention of that person is right. It can be highlighted somewhere. Because his intention of offering the help is a very good thing in the story, in the narration.
So there is no need to understand the critical situation. The whole script is about the critical situation. We can knock it out. He suggested straight away. The guy suggested.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give the link.
Okay.
What Guru is saying here, it's already there. Open straight into the predicament. Understanding the critical situation. Okay, I mean, okay. Any other thoughts?
Then he suggested, why don't you drop by my house and my parents. Straight. There are too many words and sentences to elaborate. Elaborating.
Okay. So my observation. Again, here is a case that, yes, green, okay, good, thank you, 18 minutes, thank you. Here is a case, he wants to win this case in the court of law, of marriage, of romance. This is his opportunity to win her over. This is the persuasive moment.
Petition.
How do you persuade? Like this?
Opportunistic petition.
Opportunity in a good way.
Yeah.
So that's one. Second, junk the irrelevant. There's a lot of irrelevant, especially that change of clothes. I don't think we need to get into that, right? So here, and heart, not head. Same thing like I said earlier. It's not pawns, it's humans that connect. I think we can bring it. Here is my correction. From this, you can stay the night in my house. It's just 5 minutes walk. My mother will welcome you all. I know. I want to stop here for a moment. Who is his mother for that girl? Not yet. That is dream. No, but 6 months back, remember, they both had sitting next to each other whole night. They were traveling because the drunk's place was. So they know each other, right? That's why this boy says, I know my mother will welcome you all. I know. That's the confidence he is giving on behalf of his mother. That's a highly persuasive sentence.
So left with no better option.
There is no option at all, sir. Better means it's a choice of two options.
My word is, whenever, I don't want to make it too thick. See, always women come with some, they need some.
So you want to add better?
Reasonable excuse.
So you want to
take
say
up that.
You want to say what?
With no better option.
Okay, one more word added. What's one word between friends? We'll accept it. Fine. They got a warm welcome, a hot meal, and a nice blissful night. Is there anything more they wanted? They got what they wanted, right? Warmth, heart, tummy, body. All three taken care of, right? Anything to be added?
Where did Mallika come suddenly?
In the morning, before Mallika left, gents, tell me something honestly.
Who is Mallika? That's what I'm saying.
That is the point. This boy jealously did not even reveal her name so far in the story. How do you feel? I tell you her name is Mallika. Do you feel? No, but do you feel something more than just a girl? Be honest. Mallika. She has a name. A name is a personality. I almost can smell jasmine. Serious, in a semi-serious. Okay. So that's the point. So far he told a romantic story without even telling the girl's name. That's a sin. That's a crime. That's why I'm saying element of giving details. Jagan. Tell me something. Close your eyes and tell me when you hear Jagan, wouldn't you remember our Jagan? We associate sounds, names. We do. Gandhinagar, what is that? Indiranagar. You imagine things there, whatever shop is there. Helps you visualize. Jagan. It's not he. So far it was he. Suddenly it's become more flesh and blood, right? And breath. That's the importance of a small thing like a name. Jagan, time, floods that triggered the eruption of long suppressed emotions. 175 words. In your case, 176. You wanted some word added. Out of 271, those who are good in mathematics, tell me what's that percentage? All your Dr. Biscuits who must have been bright students in 12th.
65%.
Something like that. Exactly. That's 2/3. Did you lose anything? I'm willing to run back. Now that I'm catch whiskers, this is what all of us do. Nothing. Please don't get me anything either. When you reduce, have you lost anything? Have you lost the flavor, the urgency? I don't think so. Now, one more element. There's always a question. Icebreakers, people will say, in the year 2000, whatever, a young girl was born to a teacher and a pharmacist. At the end of the story, you say, that is me. We know it from the beginning, right? So, it's a very, that is a question here. That's of course, that's another extreme. Here, should I not tell my story? You saw that? That's Mallika. There's a lot more in it than saying, oh, he saw her. That's born is saying horse, right? Or bishop, I don't know, whatever. So, I attempted one example. Then he saw same girl standing along with her colleague talking to her hostel warden over the phone. Remember? At the bus stop, I saw, yes, that was Mallika in her designer cotton sari. My heart leapt. My feet wanted to follow suit.
This is better.
What happens? Why is it better?
You see, this is how
We are expressing here, not
romance.
just reading out something.
Right.
We are expressing.
Right.
Romance comes out by emotions, right? And
No, but
that's
exactly.
follows the
I mean,
mind.
all of us do that. I'm just showing an example. Please, I mean, there's no great rocket science in this. But one thing I want to ask those who wear saris, designer saris, what does it indicate about that person's personality? Doctor.
Aesthetics.
Doctor. No. When somebody is wearing designer sari, designer cotton sari, wait here, please. What's the immediate cue? These are all cues. It's not mathematical definition. Huh? Wealthy.
Very disciplined person, because cotton sarees have to be well maintained. You see?
Look at it, friends. Designer cotton sari. The amount of meaning we brought in.
To wear that.
Don't underestimate this. This is what I call zip. Zip is, I say, Kurukshetra. Close my eyes. Kurukshetra. Thousands of pictures will run through your mind. You can smell gore. You can see, isn't it? That is the power of these words. Gandhiji. That is what I call zip. You are borrowing a lot of meanings and throwing it into your speech. Yes, sure. So that's where it is. My heart leapt, my feet wanted to follow suit. Mannequins, not humans. Make humans out of mannequins. Time up? Good. So observations, again, we have a good medium to talk over, namely samosas. I don't want to exceed the time. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, education module normally helps us to carve ourselves from a good speaker to better speaker, better to best speaker on that scale. Because when contest comes, really you have to give your best among the best. And on the lighter note, Thomas sir, you didn't highlight one character at all. Who was the real important person, the charm, lucky charm for that lady. Do you know who is that character?
No.
The drunkard. Yes. So that character was missed actually. It should have been given some more importance.
There's a slide.
He was the reason for that.
The problem is
There's a slide in the front.
Having said that, certainly I can say we all adapted to our age also. We became young when we heard the narration of these things, especially this gentleman became a teenager also. This is Toastmasters' blessing in disguise. Fine. The next, we had the speech session, we had the table topic session, we listened to the education module. Now we are moving to the evaluation session. To conduct this session, we have a dentist, an excellent Toastmaster. I do remember her previous speech, toothbrush and toothpaste. I still remember. I'm refreshing my night brushing because of this lady dentist, because I know my 32 pearls are very much important to me. I never go to fight also. I don't want to lose any of these 32. And now I invite Madam Toastmaster Sandhya to conduct the evaluation session. Madam Toastmaster Sandhya.
We are back again. We first move on to the evaluation of the prepared speeches. Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, who is the evaluator of the speech of Toastmaster Shanmugavel. To introduce her, to sleep peacefully at home, you need fans. but to sleep peacefully during a surgery? You need Prasanna Vani's hands. This dynamic lady radiates positivity, delivers productivity, and she empowers Medley. Over to you, Prasanna Vani, to evaluate Toastmaster Shanmugavel M's speech. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya, for this great introduction. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters again. Toastmaster Shanmugavel's project was to write a speech with purpose. I will be evaluating the speech based on the 4 main competency which the members is expected to learn from this project. That is selection, defining the purpose of the speech, how well written the speech is, and the organization of the speech. Coming to the selection of the topic. The topic had one single objective. It was narrowed down and the topic was relevant to the audience, and he made it very clear what he was going to talk about, and that was adhered to throughout the speech, and he asserted it at the end very clearly. Coming to the definition of the purpose of the speech, it was to inspire the audience. Did he do it? Yes. How did he do it? Through his own personal examples and not by quoting some random anecdotes. He uses examples of his entrepreneurial experience with bicycles, through the problems with his house construction, and through his ventures with diversifying his investment opportunities. The speech was well written using these examples and ample and appropriate quotes of Ambani and Warren Buffett. Coming to the organization of the speech, this is where there are some scopes for improvement. The title, it could have been kept more intriguing. That itself gave a lot of clue about what you're going to speak about and what is the purpose of the speech. The opening, you set the stage on with the C analogy, and the body had 3 main points: the bicycle, the house construction, and the extra income which you wanted. And I want to appreciate you specifically for telling the names of all those equipments. It would be very difficult to come up with the English names of those equipments which we colloquially call. The transitions could be used better. You had 3 main points, and under each main point you elaborate on the story behind it. And use the problem solution organization there. You could have also used a chronological organization. Say at the age of 13 this happened, at the age of 15 this happened, at the age of 20 this happened. That would have helped us go through the flow of the speech. And these could have been joined together through good transitions. It was like 3 distinct incidents loosely hanging, and finally you brought them together. The transitions in between could also be used better. You concluded the speech with summarizing about the importance of seizing the opportunities, and it would have been better if you had left with an impactful conclusion, with a call for action, or something that will stay in our mind for a long period. To summarize, the speech was on a well-defined topic, and you gave full justice to the purpose of the speech. It was well written in structure, with the main points and sub-points. The organization elements and transitions could be used better, and conclusion should be kept more impactful. You have asserted yourself as a speaker with a great potential through the speech. All the best to you, Toastmaster Shanmugavel, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. We're moving on to the second evaluator, IPP Toastmaster Saravanan, to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Venkataseshan. To introduce, he is Medley's past leader, created a mark in our reader. He's associated with Ford, and he loves the dogs in his adjacent road. His 2 inner weapons of significance are patience and perseverance. Over to Toastmaster Saravanan to evaluate the speech of.
Thank you. Toastmaster Venkataseshan, I liked 2 things in your speech. First is you demonstrated intrinsic as well as extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic, you challenged yourself how you moved from a power domain consultant to an IT consultant. Very well done. Second one is on the extrinsic motivation, how you used your intrinsic motivation to motivate others to complete the milestone meeting. That was also coming up very well. Second thing I liked is your topic itself, RASA. It's an intriguing topic, I would say, because I was thinking whether it is Rasam or RASA or RASA, whatever, I don't know, but you explained it beautifully with your motivation techniques. I would say like there are 4 recommendations for your speech because you are in level 4. First recommendation, your manual itself, sticking to the manual. The manual says you have to build a team and how your project benefited the club, second point. Third point is, what are the skills you exhibited to motivate the team members? And fourth, your 360-degree evaluation you got from your team members. I'm sorry, I didn't see all these four. So you should have stick to your manual to elaborate these 4 steps so that you would have been part of that manual itself. Your project is part of the manual itself. Second point, time utilization. So you elaborated from your power domain consultancy to the IT consultancy, but that took nearly 3 to 4 minutes. But that is more of your intrinsic motivation. But how you use that to motivate the team, that is the purpose of the project itself, and you took nearly 1 to 2 minutes for that. So what I would say here is, you could have cut down that and concentrated more on the milestone meeting and how it benefited the club. So in a milestone meeting, if you see, there are many things that can go wrong. But who are all your team members? How you motivated them? And how you ensured that you got the feedback from them? And what is that leadership and communication skills that you learned from that particular project? If you would have elaborated that, that would have been much better. Third point, you showed a video clip at the end, but I was not sure what was the purpose of that. Because is it for invoking some humor, or is it for elaborating some motivational strategy? That was not very clearly coming out. I would say you could have used some tangible awards, maybe some certificates, or you could have read out the people who have helped you and what is that quality that brought it from them, and how you enhance that quality through your motivational techniques. Because you talked about RASA, you have that motivation techniques along with you, but how you motivated them. So that is something that you would have elaborated. Fourth point, your manual says that this can go for 8 to 10 minutes also. Because I have seen, this is the only project in TMI where the manual recommends that if you cannot complete your project in 5 to 7 minutes, you can go for 8 to 10 minutes with the help of your VPE. As you are the VPE, you could have extended that. So, as to summarize, I would have said that, you have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. The topic is really good, but if you could have followed these 4 techniques, it would have been really good. Over to that.
We now move on to the next set of role players, the tag team. I would like to invite the timer now, timer Toastmaster Wilson, to introduce. He is a smiling professional into banking, a silent Toastmaster in the making. To empathize to people makes his life forever a happy living. Can I have Toastmaster Wilson to give your timer report to the firm? Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. So, coming to the prepared speakers, both of them qualified speakers, TM Shanmugavel as well as TM Venkataseshan, both are qualified speakers. Coming to the TT speakers, 5 people were qualified. So, but most of the people, around 4 or 5 people were actually, they have reached 50 seconds and all. So they just missed it actually by 10 seconds. They can.
You have to read out the time of the speakers. And can you please stand?
Everyone. Yeah.
Everyone. Please stand in front of the camera.
Yes. So TM Balasubramanian, 50 seconds. Guest Pearl, 1 minute. TM Anandan, 2 minutes 20 seconds. Guest Kalyani, 50 seconds. TM Sisi, 1 minute 50 seconds. TM Gomadi, 2 minutes 15 seconds. TM Kausalya, 50 seconds. TM Suresh, 50 seconds. Guest Rembert, 45 seconds. Guest Smriti, 1 minute 20 seconds. TM Prasanna Vani in the Evaluator section, 2 minutes 55 seconds. TM Saravanan in Evaluator, 3 minutes 20 seconds. DTM Thomas sir, completed his speech in 25 minutes. This is a timer report.
Can you please elaborate for prepared speeches also?
Yeah. Prepared speeches, TM Shanmugavel, 6 minutes 45 seconds. TM Venkataseshan, 7 minutes 20 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will have the report from the R counter, DTM Guru Prasad. He's a 35-year-old professional at MNC. He ensures health and safety for workers. He's a 12-year-old Toastmaster who ensures fun and laughter for us, the speakers. He's energetic, he's enthusiastic, and his stage presence is forever fantastic. Over to you, DTM.
Thank you. I'm back again without any yawns or moans. So, this is one of the biggest mistakes we all do. Starting the whole speech with so. I've observed a few of our speakers starting the speech with so. Before even getting into the R counter report, based on my own experience in giving speeches and observing people giving speeches, I have identified why this R issue happens to people at all. There is no scientific evidence, this is based on my experience and analysis. There are three things I found out. Number one, you speak something you don't know at all or you don't believe in. Then you bring in all these ahs, oohs, because you're not confident what you are delivering to the audience. You're reading someone else's script or you heard it from someone. What if he questions me? What if she doubts my speech? That keeps on circling in my mind. So I use my ahs and ims and I lose track of my delivery. Second is your thoughts are slower than your delivery. You're speaking, but the next content is not coming from the mind. You don't know what to do then, and all this comes out because there is no stuff coming in. The thought is slow. The third one is you did not plan or practice. So there are these people, Toastmaster Sandhya, Toastmaster Venkataseshan, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, Distinguished Toastmaster Sundararaman, Toastmaster Anand, Toastmaster Gomati, Toastmaster Kausalya, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani again, and Toastmaster Saravanan. They had no issues at all. Of course, I am not including the educational session into this. I'll come to that later. These people, whoever I mentioned, has no issues at all in all these three. They were clear on whatever they wanted to think, they wanted to deliver. There were no observations on them at all. Rest. Disclaimer, I am not being sarcastic or sadistic on any one of you. This is my honest observation and deliverable with my own suggestion tips here and there. Still, I was curious. I wanted to find out something from this season Toastmasters. I found Saravanan uttering the word like once, which happened in a fraction of a second, none of you have noticed. Same way, I noticed a couple of R's coming from season Toastmasters, which you never have noticed, but I decided to notice it. Even from Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas and a couple of C's coming from me. Because in the flow, suddenly we don't even recognize, it comes involuntarily that or whatever it is. Now getting into more details. Toastmaster Pravda, during her introduction, she used and. What we do is, you break the sentence into three sentences. It's not a mistake. I am not saying and was used as a counter observation. Instead of three sentences, people try to connect all the three sentences into one large sentence with and. Please try to avoid it. You can spell it in three different sentences. We are patient here to listen to. It's not specific to Pravda. Then, guest Smriti had a lot of and in her speech again. Ajit Kumar, Toastmaster, had one R during his introduction. Guest Kalyani had one R and she said, I was two times. Guest Rambert had a couple of R's and a couple of yeah, I know, and so. Unnecessarily included. If you wanted to say yeah in your speech, I'm okay with it. Toastmaster of the day, Sundaresan, I keenly observed one subtle R came in between. Otherwise, this was a clean speech. Clean performance overall. Timer Wilson had a lot of R's and I mean, for the and were used repeatedly. Guru So nobody was there to observe, so I don't know. I hope I delivered one good thing. Toastmaster Ranga had one R. Shanmugavel had a couple of R's, otherwise no repeats, no his words and other crutches were nil. Toastmaster Venkataseshan, in his RASA speech, at one point he was saying, "Are you doing this? Are you this?" Then suddenly he thought he should say my name. For others he was saying this, "Do you know, do you know?" Then he got a little distracted. I could watch. I am giving you a detailed report. I watched that you were saying this man, this man. Suddenly he thought you should mention my name. Then it became Guru Prasad. So in your script, your planned script, you are perfect. When you try to do something creative, you lost a bit. DTM Sundararaman clear. Toastmaster Bala had 3 R's. Toastmaster Pearl started with the R. So this is my advice. I am not pointing to her specifically. When you start your speech, start with a clear statement. Even it could be a table topic. Be prepared. If you have nothing else to start, say, "Thank you very much, table topic master. Good afternoon, audience." You will not. Then you get your own confidence. I have started it good. I am going to end it good. That is the point in avoiding these all mistakes. Toastmaster guest Kalyani had a few R's and one like. Toastmaster CZ had a few R's. Then as usual, people had so at the starting itself. Then evaluators all did a good job. So this was my observation, that whoever made mistakes in your R's or ums of R counter observation, either you are not clear in what you are talking, or you did not plan if it was a planned performance. Planned performance means project speakers, all role players. You had been informed 1 week before that you are going to do this today. You cannot afford to do these R's or ums during this. Then how to make sure, how to be a good R counter. There are new Toastmasters who have joined. Your job is not here to come and say, Guru said 4 R's, Sundararaman said 5 R's, Sandhya said 6 R's. No. This is how you should observe. How do you observe? That's my quiz now. How many of you are good Tamil cine song listeners? Movie song listeners? MGR song listeners? Some oldies. Have you listened to a song from the movie Kudiyirundha Kovil, a song called Aadaludan Paadalai Kettu? Why am I mentioning that song here? Aadaludan Paadalai Kettu Rasippadile Naan Sugam Sugam Sugam. Have you counted how many ishas happen in that song? No, sir. 24 ishas and 12 times oi oi ya. So keep 24 times sa coming, and in the charanams you will say oh, that comes almost 12 times it comes. And there is one more song in the movie Sakalakala called Nila Kaidu. Due to the restrictions of Toastmasters on the 3 elements, I am avoiding that song and quoting this here. But you can listen to that song and start counting your R's and M's and make your own list. So with this lighter note, this is my R counter report. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. The next report will be from the Grammarian, Toastmaster Rangarajan Padmavijay. To introduce him, from which one petal of rose the fragrance comes? Entire flower as a whole. Which one quality makes this person very fragrant? The entire person as a whole. A humane giver who attracts good. A loving past president who spreads good. Over to Toastmaster Rangarajan Padmavijay for your Grammarian report. Thank you.
One advantage of coming after the R counter is, I hope you will not take down the R's and the hums now. Sorry, I'm free. Now coming to the word of the day. Toastmaster Shanmugavel used it once, a good start. DTM Thomas used it once, and Toastmaster Prasanna Vani used it first at the beginning and then again at the end. So a round of applause to them. And in terms of creative phrases and uses of English language, Toastmaster Sundaresan, our TMoD, he used SOP and carve yourselves. That was something new. And Toastmaster Shanmugavel, he used venture, entrepreneur, a couple of, I'll come to that later. And Toastmaster Venkataseshan, he used aspiration, dexterity to desperation, and then niche, and then sowing a sinking ship. DTM Thomas, he used puppeteer, transition, visualize, humane, not pawns, and of course sarcasm. Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, she used compelling, colloquial, intrinsic, and Toastmaster Saravanan used intrinsic and extrinsic and tangible. Toastmaster Balasubramanian used never shied away, and Toastmaster Anand used unparalleled, and Toastmaster Suresh used concept. A couple of usages which could be done better is, instead of saying he ignores, you can say ignore, and then conscious, it is consciousness. So this is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So can we have a round of applause for all the tag role players and the evaluators who did a fantastic job. So now it's time to present my report as a general evaluator. Before which, can we just vote for the deserving tag role player? Moving on with the GE report. A round of applause to our VPPR and VPE for their efforts in the WhatsApp group with very catchy flyers and the agendas on each event of the meeting. Please give a round of applause to VPPR and the VPP for their efforts. They really deserve it, especially the flyer for specific events. For education session we had, for TT session we had. So great efforts, kudos to you. And the topic of the TMoD, A with A, instilled a lot of curiosity, so it was very good. And appreciate your efforts in making a display board so that it's visible. That's very good. And the speeches were good, messages were taken not only from the TMoD but also from the two speeches, problem into possibility, dexterity to desperation. From both the speeches was very good. TT session was very interesting. Technology was brought into Medley and it was interesting, but we did have some hiccup which I'll come back to you later. TT sessions, two sessions were inspiring. Two TT speakers were really inspiring. Thank you, Kumti ma'am, for that. The education session was very interesting. Wish we had more time to elaborate more details and to continue on. Maybe we will plan a part 2 of the education session. The two evaluations were top class. The way we learned from the two evaluations were top class. Kudos to the evaluators. Tag report was extremely detailed. Especially the R counter, it was a learning platform for all of us as speakers on the stage. Why do we include filler phrases and sums? It was an eye-opener for majority of us. And of course, the role players can be here before time. We find few role players after 3 o'clock, which finds it very difficult for us to coordinate, and applause can be a little louder, dear fellow Toastmasters. It was very, very low applause for all the speakers. TT sessions, yes, did use the technology, but, I'm sorry to use but still, the members had the opportunity to see the TT topic multiple times. So the fun of remembering the TT topic and tinkering their minds to come out was lost, and the people at the last were not able to see and hear the TT topic properly. So we could alter it and find ways how to better use the technology. Yes, I completely appreciate your effort to align with the TMoD's topic, adapt. So a round of applause to DTM Sundararaman C. Thank you so much. And role players, slight noise here and there between the role players for clarification of doubt, especially at the last row, so it can distract the speaker and they can even forget their script. Let's avoid all that. And twice I heard the mobile sound. So We start with SAA rules and let's follow it with the strict discipline and decorum at Medley. And this is all my GE report. Overall, it's a thorough learning session from each of the role player today. So thank you so much, and I am presiding and I'm handing over to the TMoD of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Sandhya, for your detailed and friendly suggestions as playing the role of general evaluator. Because evaluation is very, very important feedback. Unless we hear the feedback, we will not move ahead. So evaluation session is important, and played by a friendly Toastmaster is very important in our club also. Next, now to move ahead, I hand over to President. Or before we all have given the voting list also. They are busy a little bit. We'll give 2 more seconds. Thanks to them. Shall I use this time new guest? Guest, please quickly share your thoughts from your place. No problem. We'll wait for the signal from Toastmaster session. Sure. Yeah, quickly, because they are ready with the result. Yes.
Yeah. So as usual, it was a very, very interesting session. Good learning. That's something which I observed. And yeah, my family is already there as Toastmasters. I thought they will be introduced, but maybe on another day. But overall, it was great, and everyone did very well today. I see that there is a great amount of enthusiasm, the way people deliver and the way people come to the stage and deliver the speech, and there is good element of humor which I really liked, because generally Toastmaster meetings used to be very dry and everyone comes, stand and deliver and go, but the humor and the learnings that make this Medley Toastmasters totally different from other Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you. I think your battery is also charged now.
Yeah.
Because my battery is charged by bringing the topic AA. And over to you, ma'am, or you like to listen from guests, please? Quick feedback. What do you feel, ma'am? Enjoy?
She's a member. She's a member.
Yeah. Who is guest? Raise your hand. Fine. How do you feel?
I feel really good.
Good? Comfortable?
Yeah, getting into it.
It's a matter of
Still
time.
not comfortable. But
The moment you get up from the chair and come here, it shows your confidence that one day you will become a speaker. I say for the ice-breaking people, once you get up and come here, forget about the paper you are seeing or sometimes getting stuck in table topic. These are all later you can learn that skill. Getting up, coming here, looking at the eyes of others and sharing your few words, that matters for a Toastmasters. Remaining things, the club people will take care of you. Okay? Good. Keep coming. It's good for you. Over to you, ma'am. Over to Presiding Officer.
Thank you, TM. What an interesting meeting we had today. Hope all of you enjoyed. Yes? I personally found today's meeting very interesting, informative, and novel. It's right from the theme A with A. So on seeing the flyer, initially I thought that there was a picture in that. I thought it should be something related to angry or argument, but I didn't expect that it is adapt with age. So right from our TMoD's present description and the very beautiful description of our general evaluator on how she described the infant and mother with her evaluation team, and the novelty lies on the TT session where DTM Sundararaman sir has adopted artificial intelligence very first time in our TT session, and the way sir gave DTM Guru Prasad sir gave a new dimension to the accountant report, and he made it very interesting, and the educational session was very interesting. Thank you DTM Thomas sir for making it interesting and letting us know the the nuances of writing or sculpting the draft that we generally will not get it in any other books or any other magazines. Thank you so much, sir. So it's time for me to announce the results of today's meeting. The best speaker is Toastmaster Venkataseshan. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Saravanan. The best tag role player is DTM Guru Prasad. The best role player is Toastmaster Sundararaman sir. Sundararaman sir. The table topic master, DTM Sundararaman.
Actually, the award should go to ChatGPT.
I dedicate this to ChatGPT.
And the best TT speaker is Toastmaster Gomati. You all enjoyed today's session. With the sound of this golden gavel, I adjourn today's meeting. Thank you, sir.